All right, we're getting some buildings in here. I like how that looks. I can get into that. We've already got people coming to our shopping center. Woo! All right, there we go. Now we've got one, two, three, four, five Forestry Industries in here. Hey guys, Wheatywaffle here today, and we are back in City Skylines 2 playing our city of Walden. And in this part, I want to get some more residents in this city. I want to get some more specialized industry. And so I think we're just going to jump right in with getting some more people living here. If I check, this kind of has started because I look over here, we don't have enough workers in this industrial area. And if I look over in this industrial area, Cargo City, we also don't have enough workers. So I think we need to get some more residents in here. I'm going to try to fill out Willowbrook. We've already got our terminal subway yard in this area. And you know what? I think just to make this look kind of complete, we're just going to drag this surface all the way over and fill this section with concrete. Just like so. I might put some foliage there or some like small detailing. It won't be anything too crazy. Maybe we even just give it a key wall along this side and then just kind of call that a day. I think that looks good. Now, for these two areas, what I want to focus on doing is trying to add more of this lower density, maybe some mid-density housing, but I want to keep it all pretty compact and tight throughout this whole section. I'm not going to do a lot of connections here to Lavender Street because I kind of want to use this as a thoroughfare to get over here and get on and off the highway and into the greater downtown. So we're going to try to avoid connecting here. What's causing the challenges here? Well, we got 2 road maintenance vehicles, so that's probably a huge part of it. We also have this intersection here with people crossing. I wonder if it's just the reality. It's like we're in a city. There's going to be backups at some of these intersections. If we speed it up, what happens? You know what? I can tell you one thing we can turn off right now. Lane connector tool, remove unsafe, remove those 2 U-turns, and that's going to keep people moving so much better. All right, let's focus on this block to start because this one I think is going to be the easier of the 2. I'm going to put trees on both sides, and I'm going to match. Let's turn off this grid button. We're going to match right to here just for a moment. So there's that particular road. We're going to match this road here. And then we've got this road down here, but I think that might be a little small. So these are the same roads as the ones over in Anchor Ward. But I'm wondering if to make it actually more interesting, I wonder if we do this instead. What if I was to grab this road here and loosely do these connections like this instead and go at an angle? I think that might be what I do. Let's actually get rid of everything I've just built. I think if we build off of here, it's just going to look a little bit more interesting. So let's go ahead and do just a road straight out to here. I'll do this. I'll send this straight across as just like my guide road. And then I can fill all of this in just like so. We'll have those 6. We'll have these 6. But just give us a different angle to work with because I think that's going to look a little bit more interesting. Now, I could even consider sending this road parallel to this road, and if I turn off, snap to the sides of buildings, but I turn back on, snap to the angles, I kind of want to connect to that angle there. If I go here and I just go straight on out at the 90, and then I get rid of this road and maybe send these in like this. The turns are maybe a little dicey, but I think we can work with it. If I send this here at the 90, that gives us multiple entrances into this area. I wouldn't want to add one here because then we'd have this really tiny intersection. But then we kind of have this new shape that we can work with. It's going to be kind of a pain to fill in some of those areas. But I think that's a challenge we should try to work for. I almost wonder if I set it back a bit more so that they're not right along this road. Get rid of all of this section. That way we have the houses facing this way and facing in. I mean, that almost tells me we could do this. It's still a small intersection, though. It's very tiny. I don't know if I want it to be that small. I think we're going to leave it like that. We'll even put an alleyway kind of right through the middle. We'll connect right up into here, go to the 90, throw an alleyway through the center there. I don't want to connect anything over here. And I think I want to leave that open. Okay, that I think will work. I think that could work. Now, the question is, what goes along this side? I think this is probably going to be business along here. This will all be the housing. In this section, I almost want to extend this road here. Go right to here. Now, I'm going to have to anarchy this into here. That's going to be fine. Anarchy that there. We'll send this up to here, and we'll maybe put like a little cul-de-sac on it. Just on that corner. This can be some kind of like manufacturing industrial, like something that's not too disruptive to the area. And then this could be some services or a larger building there of some kind. All right, let's get started with our zoning. I think I actually might take more of this. I guess this is the NA low density, NA medium density row housing. Let's grab that. NA medium density row housing. Let's do it with platter because like, why would you not? They all come in one tile distances, but I could easily place 3 here, or not 3. How many is this? 6, excuse me, 3 back. Now, if I was to not snap to the other side, reduce this, we could do 3 deeps along this alleyway, although I don't actually know if I want anyone living along the alleyway, but I do want people living along this section. So if I do some houses here, I do some houses here, can fit a 3 set right here, or we just fit these facing this way, which I actually think is probably the better play. And I didn't want people living on this road, but I think right there we will do it, just so we have got some interest in that section. Then can I just do like some tiny guys? Could I fit 2? Probably can't fit 2. That could go over to here. And that could go there. How does that look? I don't know if they're going to both zone in or not. Because ideally what we do, we have 2 of them right here. Oh, there we go. They can fit there on the corner. We don't need any there. Right here, we're going to leave that open for now. All right, so this is going to start zoning in. I'm actually not even going to do paths. I think, you know what? And I've really gotten attached to locking the growth of my trees. It's like once I place it, it's good. We don't need to change it again. Let it be. I think for this area, I might extend all of the backyard so that they kind of come up to the edge of the road. Oh, little autosave. We might even open this up to be a park. So yeah, we'll hold on all of that. We're just going to place our trees kind of in this center area for now. I'll vibe with that. So now we've got Willow Brook. She's got a little stuff going on. She does have a post office, People's Hospital, firehouse. No education. I think I'm going to leave it with no education on purpose. Even though there is a modern high school right across the street. I'm going to leave no education zone for Willowbrook. Like this Lavender Street is like a dividing road between the two. All right, so we've got all this in here. I think we also need to do a little bit of medium density. And honestly, I'm just going to use the USA Northeast medium density. Do I dare to just zone it? Like, what if this section just had regular zoning? Like, what would we get? We'll see if we like what we get here in the end. I don't know if we will. Could also just do this as like a commercial building or mixed use and see what happens there. Does leave an opening here, but I bet you we could come in here, grab one of these petrol stations. We have the large one left. Oh, honestly, you know what? Just put that right there. The large petrol station right on the corner. Yeah, I think that could work. That needs some trees. I'll figure out all of this. Let's place a small park right here in this corner just to give them something to do. I don't want it to have a fountain. The large city park is too large. That's way too fancy for this area. I mean, there is the round park, and we did get rid of the round park that was over here. So I could consider maybe turning off snap to the road. We put the round park right here on the corner. And then we maybe fill the rest of this once we expand all the backyards with grass instead of pavement and see what that ends up looking like. That could work. Additional trees over here. That could fit out pretty nicely. We do have street parking for the residents here, which I think will work. And I do also think for this section of Hazelbrook, I'm going to remove the median. I don't think we need it. Not for this section where we have all these roads pulling off. I want you to be able to get on and off of that area pretty simply. Okay, this is coming in. We'll see how that looks. I could get into doing some more commercial right along this edge. I'm thinking we do the NA low density. We do some of that right here. Then we can do some southwest here on the corner. Southwest right here. I don't know if I want that to be 4 back. We'll see what it turns out to be. But that gives us like a little main street for this area. And this area is kind of self-enclosed. I can get into that. Right along here, I think we're going to do some more of these houses. Right here on the side. But instead of doing the 3 back, I'm going to do the 2 back. Because sometimes you do have people living on major roads. And I think right here is one of those neighborhoods where I do want to have people living on major roads. And now we can just kind of connect. I'm only going to do 1. There is a house near me where you have a major like 4-lane road. And then you've got a 2-lane road that comes down. And there's a house right there on the corner. And there's a massive yellow arrow sign showing left and right so that people don't go straight and plow into the house. There's a light and everything. And like the light is as big, like the traffic light is as big as the front door. It's crazy looking. But you got to do what you got to do. Over here, I'm thinking I want to do some of the Joe's Industrial buildings. The problem I have is that since I've already placed all of them, I can't just grab them. Woo! Can't just grab them. Oh, I can grab them from Find It. Okay, that'll work. I have to use Anarchy for these. Unfortunately, there's just no way to do it without. I'm thinking what I do, if I just search Joe's, I'm thinking I start with one of these clutter builds, and we have the traffic kind of come off of the road here. So yeah, I guess I do want it along Cherrydale Street. We'll place that there. We'll place like a warehousey kind of building next to it. We got these smaller guys. Those could do something. We could do something like this. And then could I do like a larger building? Something like this even? Maybe here on the corner. Right? And then we've got this guy too, which I've actually not placed yet. And so maybe this goes this way, right? We've just got some like larger industrial buildings over here. Do these pollute a lot? Ground pollution, air pollution is low. Now, unfortunately, the air pollution is going this direction. If I go look at the Joes we have over here, and I look specifically at the air pollution, I mean, it is very low. Like right here, there's 80, 100, but if you get right over here, there's 8. Over here, there's 0. I mean, if I'm on here on the road, the air pollution right by the road is 0. It's showing, yeah, oh, I guess that's noise maybe. Traffic air pollution, yep. So there's going to be a little air pollution in this area, but I think that by the time you get over here, it's going to be pretty dissipated. So we're going to let it be. We're going to see how that works out. Now, with these buildings, I do need something here in the middle, and I'm wondering if I can just pick something on my own. If I was to do storage, is that how it works? Or we could do some storage. What, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide. Are there any 6 wide storage units I could do? There's something like that. Oh, we could do like a lot. Forestry. Yeah, let's do a forestry lot over here. If I turn Anarchy off, can I place it? Not really, because it's going to intersect with this guy here, but that's okay. I like that these are like really close together. This all is going to need some additional work over here. Like everything's overlapping. Probably need to add in like a fence or something. Some overgrown foliage. Okay, that works pretty nicely. We could do another storage unit over here on this corner. Maybe it's something different. I do have oil in the city. What's the air pollution here? Low. What if we do like 2 of these right next to each other? We copy this color palette. We paste it here. Fill this back area with some trees to kind of hide that this is right there. And then this right here could be a parking lot, kind of leading into the area. Now, I don't think this big one will stop. It fits. So it's going there. And just have this small little kind of industrial sector right over here. Now, as I'm seeing more usage appear over here, I think we should consider upgrading these a little bit. This road here, I would love to do as this like really large 6-lane road. I'm going to have challenges though because of everything going on over here. If I turn off this, no, I always get those two mixed up. If I had this here in the middle, we could have 6 lanes going over to here. We do it with anarchy to avoid that little section. That could work. And then I could do this here, but I think 6 lanes might be a little bit too chaotic for this intersection. So maybe this guy just gets upgraded into a 5-lane. Yeah, I want like that. 5-lane so that everything is feeding in this direction. Okay, I like that. Lane tool, click on this, remove the unsafe. We don't need those. That just builds that out a little bit, and I think that works probably a lot better. All right, that's great. That's great. This little section of Hazelbrook does have some grass in it. I think I'm going to leave it. Should I do... There's not a median version. 6-lane divided, 8-lane divided. Look how large that is. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, we're getting some buildings in here. I like how that looks. I like how that looks. I can get into that. We do have some places where a path could definitely work. If I turn everything off and we send a path right up here through the middle, then I'm going to do continuous. And I'm going to snake the path kind of through here, just like this. And I'll snake a path kind of through the back here and connect that up and in. Do we dare go like this? I mean, I like to do them like this because I feel like that increases the connectivity of the pathway. So I think that could work pretty nicely. Now, these buildings don't have a dedicated parking lot, which makes me think, am I able to fit this here, or is it too close to that road? Ah, it's just too close. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. We could do the underground parking. Well, it would have to take over all these houses. But if we had this underground parking lot... Oh, it's a small parking building. Actually, we will do this. Let's get rid of what we have here, because this is all platter, so get rid of all these guys. I think this here can be this small parking building. We'll leave enough space for some trees along the side, so maybe it goes right here. You enter in through there. You've got small parking. Better yet, move it to here. Then right along this side, we can still put in some of these small little houses. We'll use platter to get them right up to the edge. Turn off snap to existing platter blocks. And we'll just have that right there. And I might even just shimmy it a little bit more so it's not like fully hitting them. Okay. Again, maybe not the greatest spot to live, but you got to do what you got to do. We're going to do fence mode. We're going to reduce this down to, I think, 10. And we're only going to do the large guys. And place this maybe just like that. And we'll do some behind it. Yep. All this can then become some kind of park moment. I think I can connect into this. Yeah, I can kind of fake connect into it. Just like so. Maybe we grab this corner here. Connect that up and in. I wonder what goes here. I almost want to build like kind of like a shopping center here where you come in maybe off of this side road. You loop over as a big parking lot here and the buildings all face inward. I think the southwest style has what I'm looking for here. Like we want ones that don't have parking lots. This doesn't have a parking lot. That doesn't have a parking lot. That doesn't have a parking lot. We could also try to have like one of these guys in here. And we could do like a little like box store on its own. The rest of these all have parking lots though. And I don't want any parking lots. I wish I could filter by like the amount of parking you have. Ooh, and that could work there too. Let's grab this one, move it over here, grab this one, move it over here, and grab this one, move it over here. Get rid of those there. These are all too deep. So what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to have some trees here, and these need to go too deep. So this would probably be about where I would need this road to go. If I then grab this building and we place it right along this road here, I could probably place two next to each other, right? Just like that. Although I'm going to want a corner section too. So let's do that. I also want this to be too deep. Oh yeah, hold on. No, so then this road needs to go here. Maybe it even goes in a little bit. Goes here instead. Right? We're going to build a custom little center here. This could be the entrance, actually. This could be like that access entrance right into here. We then do this here as a perfect square. We need to get this so that we get exactly the right number of zonable tiles in here. If I go here, it's not exactly perfect. But if I turn this off and go here, also not perfect at all. Oh, well, you know what? It can only go 6 back. That's part of the problem. So we have an entrance there. Then I do think right here in the center would be another entrance for this area. Shortens those blocks a little bit. That's okay. I do think right here we could get away with grass and trees in the median. And I'm going to actually place my own trees in the median. I want to use the chestnuts. Stick them to the road. Let's go for this height here. Maybe a little bit larger. Yeah, I'll do those right there. Right, so across the street you've got this little section. Let's get rid of this building because I'm not entirely sold on that location yet. Then, let's see how some of these other ones are going to fit in here. If I was to grab this building, I kind of thought I had more space here than I do. So that's something I got to keep in mind. This could go right here on the corner, right? Little tiny shop there. I then definitely want this whole building right there in the corner. Maybe give me the little twofer as well. And then let's stick this larger one back here where it was before. But now we've got kind of like a little strip mall. In the center will go parking. All the aisles can go this way, which I can probably just go ahead and do that. No sense in waiting. Perpendicular parking alley. That's exactly what we want. Or we can do the perpendicular one-way alley, which actually might be better, because then I could fit even more parking. Let's turn everything off except for angle and snap to existing. Place this one here. Place this one here. We're going to rotate this one around this direction. We've got a parking lot. We've got all of this here in the center. I like that. I did want to have like one of these kinds of buildings. But maybe that just goes over here on this corner. Just like that. Right? You're coming down. You can stop here at whatever this is. Is it a food place? Recreation? Okay. We can get into that. We'll do that one there. And then we'll also take this guy and put this right next door. They've got their own pull-off parking. I don't think we'd allow parking here, but I think actually because this is now going to be kind of busy, going in, we could have a dedicated turn lane into the shopping center. Dedicated turn lane into the shopping center. This all here is fine, although I could see us doing the same thing where there's a dedicated turn lane into the shopping center. It would make this road so big. Like, is the 6-lane here just ridiculous? Honestly, I think just the asymmetrical with the dedicated turn lane makes more sense. We lose our trees. Can I place trees on the sides of these? I can. There we go. We'll put trees along there. Kind of like if the shopping center had to put trees around the sides of those buildings. All right, we're going to get rid of all these guys because we're not using them. Then I think this just needs some decorations. Let's see. If I just fill this initial spot here, I think what I want to do is this. I want to do this whole area with concrete, but I'm going to use those planters we have. This is the 1x4. Is there a, like, there's a 2x8. There's a 4x16. That's too large. And then there's another 2x8 with curves. You know what? No. Let's go use these brickwork ones I have. I never use them. We can even do them with just the squares. And we have a bunch of them next to each other. Is that funky looking? Because then you can still walk through them. They're all a little different, but I honestly don't mind that. I think that could work out pretty nicely. All right. Around here, too. Oh, let me hit play. I don't know why I had this thing on pause. I'm going to attach a pathway along the back. Looks a little funky there, but it could work. But that way we've got parking or like a little service road in the back. I like that. We've already got people coming to our shopping center. Woo! Love that. I don't know why I'm so excited about it. All right, let's then fill this with trees like we do. I'm going to use these two shapes. I actually do first want a fence here. See, I'm trying to get a little bit more detail-y, but not too detail-y, you know? Like just doing small stuff here and there. Turn all this off. I'm just going to stick it right along this edge up to that building. It doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. Got a little fence around that. Now, if we fill this with trees, that could look pretty nice. We'd want to keep this pretty low because I'm going to want you to be able to see into the shopping center. But the rest of this here, we'll put a number of trees here to block this road or these this parking, right? All that would have to be pretty shallow in terms of what we do for decoration, but we can figure something out there. But now we've got like a little shopping center leading into a bit of industrial that then leads into this new residential area. A little bit of commercial over here as well. Unfortunately, we did get multiple of the exact same buildings. So what I think I'm going to do to make sure that doesn't happen is let's first of all just remove this unnecessary zoning we have. We don't need that. For this one, let's remove all of this zoning. And then for this one, let's go even further in. Just like that. That way it's forced to give me tinier guys. I did not mean to do that on this one. That's my bad. Let's go back here, do this, get rid of this. Give me a 4 deep. Go ahead. Fill it in. Give me a 4 deep. You can do it. Except for I've used the wrong stuff, so no, you can't. I want all this to be 4 deep. Although it's going to be the same as that one. So no, I don't. Better yet, we're just going to platter this puppy. Looks workable. That all needs trees. Slow this speed back down. This all needs trees. All right, let me tree this whole section and fix all of these surfaces. And then I think we'll be ready to move on to the next. Okay, I think we've done it. We've got a number of little yards back here. I put some fences in here just to make all the yards a little bit different there. Threw in some trees along the back there. Over here, just did a little surface work, added in some trees, and then I added in a tree line here just to protect kind of the people living over here in this school from all of the noise over here. Now, let's check on the air pollution. How are we looking? 211. Down over here, we're at 300. But if I come over here, 32, and then we get over here to the residence, and air pollution's 5, okay? If I come out this way, air pollution over here is 0. So although there's some industrial sprinkled in here, it's not actually going to cause a huge problem for our residents, which is great news. I'm not going to do any schools over here. We got a park. I guess we need just some public transportation in this area. Let's get a sense of our public transportation map. What do we have? We do have this bus route, which goes down there. I wonder if that bus route actually comes up and goes over here instead. Although we do have a stop here by the high school, which I do like. We could send it up and then send it over into the neighborhood, or just have one stop here. It'd be a kind of small bus line, but I guess that bus line could be expanded as we go over this way. Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll switch this orange line up a little bit. So instead of going back this way and stopping in front of this building here, I think we're going to take that bus line. We'll do it with the bikes. We'll send this here. We have a stop here. I think I might place the other stop right across the street from here. So we'll move that stop over. Then we'll come up in here and we'll stop maybe right here, where we're in front of the apartments and we're in front of the entrance to our kind of shopping center. You can then easily walk down a block or two into the industrial area, and I think all of these cars could easily get in there. And I guess if this is the terminus, we don't really need two. So we could get rid of this one. That way we don't interrupt that bike lane. You still have the 3 lanes here. I think that could work. Then we grab this guy. Let's actually just move this stop to here. And let's move this stop to here. It'll then loop around this way. Instead of looping through the parking lot, though, I think I might have it loop around this direction and go around the long way. Does that mean I should have another stop over here? Probably not. I don't think we need all that. We can then get rid of this stop. We don't need her, and we don't need her. There we go. Bus line goes down. It still does this weird loop around this section, which is also covered by, I think, this blue line. Yeah, the blue line does the same. So I think this orange line will end up changing and kind of coming down here, maybe connecting to this avenue and going down along this route. So we've got that kind of L shape once we get a little bit further along. But for now, that can work just like that. Now, I am thinking about what we could put here in this corner. And I think the answer to that is going to be the particle board factory. It has medium ground and air pollution, or excuse me, medium noise pollution, but low ground. It has low ground and air pollution and medium noise pollution. I can't place it just yet, but it would fit in here if I anarchied it in. The problem we're going to have is these posts that we have for the highway, and I'm not concerned about those. But I think that could fill in this area quite nicely. But to unlock that, we're going to need to build out some specialized industry. So if we go over here, we've not done any forestry in this whole area. We've got farms, farms, and farms, but nothing else. And I'm thinking this little section here could be a great spot for that industry. We already have industry here in Davin, so we can then spill that industry over into this area, have this section filled with the forestry industry, and maybe we change out this section to include some type of cargo train station, and then we could send a bridge over possibly. I don't know. There's a whole lot we could do here. I think the first thing we start with, let's actually put another cargo station right over here. Let's see what options we have. I think that could kind of be how we begin this section. If I go over here and just click on cargo transport, we've got a small cargo line, right? And that just ends. We've got media. Oh, these are buses. Hold on. I want train cargo. There we go. Train cargo. Terminal. That ends. And we have transfer station, which has this whole pass-through section. Did I put his transfer station there? I did. But I think we could have one over here and position this kind of like right here in the center area, possibly. We might have to do a little rework of this train line, but I think it might be worth it. Let's let this train go. You're already doing your thing. I'm not going to interrupt you. Go ahead and pass right by. Goodbye, train. Okay, train's through. Let's get rid of this whole section. I'm also going to pause and get rid of this whole section of this power line. We'll reconnect that in a minute. If I had the cargo line facing Davin Street, that could work, but the problem is that's really more of a... It's not a kind of road I want to place this on, but I could have this come right up to the back here. If I turn on our contour lines, how are we looking? Little bit of a grade change there. It's not too terrible, though. If this was positioned right along this edge, maybe somewhere like here, and if I use move it, I should be able to bring this to this height. Level all of that out, right? So now we've got this cargo station here. Unfortunately for those who are using the cargo station or using any of the lines, really, you're going to have to drive through the cargo station, but I don't think that's a terrible thing. We could then send this up to here, give it a curve, and bring on my contour lines. If this was to come right into here, has a 1.2 grade change. But we could do this, send this one really just straight on in, I think. Very minimal change there. It's a bit of a tight turn there, though. So actually, we will give this a little bit of a curve. Right kind of where that other one is curving. I think we could curve this right into here. Scoot this puppy over. Connect it right into the middle. So we'd have those two connections. Then we just need to get these connections back. This is where I'm a little bit more concerned. I can't guarantee this connection is going to be smooth. But if we go here, oh, only 2.7? Heck yeah. Let's do it. 2.7 again. I'll take it. Gives us a little bit more that's elevated, which isn't the worst thing. If I switch over here and we just raise all this with a key on both sides, at least to there, that feels like it makes a little bit more sense to me. And then we're elevated enough that that could just stay as is. All right, that works. I'm going to take off the elevation of these guys. Let's place it on both sides and then take it off both sides, because it auto-placed that there. And then I can just smooth this area out and make this look a little bit nicer. If I grab this guy, bring this height all the way through the center, and then we're just going to soften the terrain around this. That could work so much better. I'll even reduce this down and maybe send most of this area up, right? Just like so. Then we can go ahead and soften everything on that side. That could work. That could work. Now, the question is, how do we get over into here? I wouldn't mind trying to leverage this avenue, because we could almost curve the avenue and send it right here. Let's see what that would look like. If I was to do... I think I want to do the same bridge we have. That's that bridge. I do like that bridge a lot, though. The 4-lane truss arch. That's a great bridge. If we do 20, is that enough? If I go from like here to here, it is. Let's place it. Let's place it. Have another bridge there. Can that easily curve down into here? If I get rid of that and I just use the 4-lane with a curve, we start here. We bring it out to here. We're at 8.6. If we bring it all the way over, we're only at 7. And for an avenue and for a street, that's not bad. Oh my gosh. Then, hold on. Then we bring this down right here. Get it to be... I wouldn't mind it to be... Well, actually. Get it to go right here. Right? Because then if we do one with bike lanes, we do this straight. Turn on my contour lines a little bit so I can see what's happening. Place that here. Then we turn the bike lanes off, give it a slight curve, and this could curve right up and in to this guy, just like that. And now we've got another connection into this area. It does mean you have like this weird triangle of like 2 bridges, but I think that could work okay. All right, so now we've got this. She's great. Oh, I disconnected my power. Hold on. We need the power lines. So I've got power lines coming here. They're feeding along the side of this train line. I wouldn't mind crossing in, but then I wouldn't be able to get over this. Can I place them over here like that? No, I can't. So let's actually do this then. Let's put a road in the front of this guy. Could even send the road underneath along both sides. This would have a road that comes just straight up this way. Have another road come kind of straight down here. Right at the entrance even would be kind of decent. And then we do a curve road to connect the two. Then that gives me a clear spot for my power lines to go. We could do one over top here. Then we bring it down. Bring it over. And I think right here is where we then begin to do like a little curve. So instead of doing this curve, back this up to here. And then do a curve like so. We'll snap to angle. Get the curve going this way. Go up and go in. Now that's all connected back up. Then right here, I think we just change this connection so that it actually will follow along maybe this side of the road. Cross over here and connect in. There we go. Hit play. Yeah, that works pretty decently. Gives me a little bit more challenge here too. I think this train line might have to stay a little bit lower to get underneath of all this, but we can figure that out as we keep moving. I also think that this here just needs to get keys. Let that come down and just do a curve in there, key walls, no zoning on either side. It's too important where it's at for us to have zoning on either of those sides. Okay, so now this train has to come through. What happens? You slow down, you pull in. I don't know if you stop there or not, but we now have this access area here. Do we have a road that curves from here into here? I almost think I do. Something more like that. Now we're going to remove the crosswalks here. We're also going to remove the light. You're going to have to, transition in and figure out how to do that on your own. Do I dare do this and snap an extended segment here so that we have a transfer lane? I don't think we do. I think we just leave it like that. I can get into it. We'll then also put key walls on both sides there. That can then slide up and in, and then that's what's going to access this forestry area. Now, for this to be a forestry area, it's going to need some trees. So let's do our normal tree grouping. We're going to do basically all the different types, and I'm going to just expand the size of this and bring this kind of all the way through here. Most of these are going to end up being destroyed, but that's okay. Now, this avenue runs through the heart of the city. Does the avenue continue over this way and maybe end up finding its way to connect into here? I think it would. So I'm going to want to have an avenue with the bike lanes on it. Is there bike lanes on this avenue? There's not. They end. Okay, great. So we're going to send this over. Turn everything on here. We've got constant slope on. I need to get to, I think, what, 725 to do a bridge? Maybe 825? Hold on. Back that up. Build it again. Connect right into the center. Or 875. That's what I need. 875. It crosses right over. Then it comes back down. Maybe to right here. So now we've got that overpass. The train is the priority there. It's kind of a hilly road. You go up and then down and then up and then down and then you're straight most of the way. All right, but now that gives me another access point to turn this area into our forestry area. So what I think we do is we take our first road from here. It's going to go right here at this entrance area and come kind of straight on through. Just like so. Maybe to here. Then we'll give this a curve to follow along the edge here. Send that out straight. And we will give this a connection point. That gives me at least one place I know to place one of these guys. Let's snap it to the road. We'll place it right here in the center. And we're going to fill this whole section with this tree industry. But now we've got some forestry industry right there. It's our first one. I think I would want another pathway coming out this direction. So there could be another forestry industry there. And we've got this train line to contend with. But I think if we curve this, we could send another guy straight on out this direction. Curve this and connect up and in to here. So that gives me another entrance there. This guy, I think, would curve maybe a little bit stronger. Maybe not that strong. Maybe like this. And we'll send this up and in as well. Another forestry industry here. Maybe two here in the middle. One over here and one over here. And that would fill this whole area with a number of forestry businesses, which I think I want. All right, so then this guy, you can go right here. All right, there we go. Now we've got 5 forestry industries in here. What do we need to do to unlock this building here? Wood goods produced 2,500. If I just like speed this up, like how quickly does this go up? Is it really slow? No. Oh, we're going to have this in moments. Particle board factory. We've got it. All right. Hit play. It is interesting that there's like this huge area here that's just going to be trees, but I think that's going to be useful because over here we're going to expand all this to have, I think we're going to move this farming industry, and then this is going to be more suburbs. So this is going to start getting a little bit more dense as we keep going. All right. I like how this works so far. Let's actually put this cargo station to use. We're just going to have it stop at both sides on its way there and back. So you're going to pick up goods here. You drop them off here if you have any. Then you bring them over to this end. You come back down here. You drop off some here. You bring them over here. Perfect. But that way all these guys can just hop onto this road, come over this way, drop them right off. I do think because we're going to have a bunch of cargo traffic here, I am going to upgrade this to be a 6-lane road. Is that weird that it just like becomes huge? I think it maybe is a little weird. What if I was to scoot this back and scoot this back so that it's kind of in the center, like so, just like that. And then if I just grab this, bring this all the way over, it's not going to work because of the bridge section. But I could probably just rebuild that now. Needs to be a little bit longer. Ooh, and we got the antique store. Due to the recently opened particle board factory in town, which we have not built yet, the local market has been flooded with low-cost consumer-grade furniture. As a result, we have an abundance of older, sturdier furniture that can be sold at a premium to those who can pay. Great. Love that. All right, let's just rebuild this. I want this to be like a really big road. I don't know if it's going to get like a ton of usage in the way I hope it does, but I want to think it will. So let's actually just move this to here and this to here. Then can I move this to kind of line up with those? There we go. Just like that. Then grab this guy here in the middle. Send it up to 875, as close as we can go. Give me a bridge at the 90. Where's the first moment you can do it? Maybe it can't be at the 90. It can go right there. And then you know what, from there, we'll just send this straight down. Is it perfect? No, but not all roads are always perfect, so that's all right. Go down to 0. Around 5% grade change. But now we've got this much larger road, which is going to help service some of the traffic, I think, that's going to come out of this forestry industry area. All right. With that, there's probably way more I need to do over here. I might even try to do a little detailing where like we make like a yard of logs or something. So maybe we'll think about how that would work. I do think now that I'm seeing this, at least this side is going to come all the way to the edge. Like, why not? Let's send this straight on down. Let's fill this whole area. And then this area here, I might turn into like a lumber yard of some kind right along the side of the water. That could look pretty nice. This will need, I think, a district, because this is its own kind of place. And it's quite large, so can't hurt to give it its own district. Hemlock Grove, I think we're going to call this Pinelands. Even though there's not actually any pines over here, but we're going to call it the Pinelands. Now, this hospital doesn't function in the Pinelands, but it could. So I think we're going to stick that right onto there. Call it a day, because now we'll be able to get an ambulance over to the film industry. Let's go ahead and check out this new building here. We've got the particle board factory. I'm going to turn off snap to road. This is going to go right here. If I anarchy it in, just like this, and if we look, it's just piles of wood that's under here. So it's not really intersecting anything in a bad way. Now, some of them are like technically in the piles of wood, but you'll never see that. So I think if we had that here, although should this actually, hold on. Should this actually just go over here? Because it's using the resources that are over here already. Kind of right here on this corner. I wouldn't even need to use anarchy for it. We can get an upgrade at 50,000 goods. We already have 25,000 plus 5% industrial efficiency. And then I guess the challenge here is that we then end up detailing this area around what's already here, which that could look a little bit better. Let's get rid of that tree, clearly in the way. I'm going to expand this surface down. And I'm also going to then, maybe I will put a little bit of grass right in this kind of frontage area and call that a day. That'll be the only real grass over here. The rest of this, I think, will become this forestry texture. Okay, this just needs some more detailing. That looks good. It means I don't actually have something to fill this block. But what is this antique building we got? Where does she live at? It's kind of small. Oh, but it's kind of cute too. I want the antiques to be maybe over here in Anchor Ward. Right? Like you can come in here, or even over here in Old City. We could replace one of these buildings with the antique building instead. Rotate it around so it's facing this way. It just fits. But now we have a little antique store selling furniture next to some industrial building, and then we have some more commercial buildings and offices, so that works out pretty nicely. Ooh, I like that. I like that. I'm a fan. Okay. I think for now, that might be where we leave this part. I don't exactly know what I'm going to do over here yet. So if you have any ideas in the comments, let me know. But something should go here. I just don't know what. And then there's still some small areas I might fill in between parts. Like this little section here by Walnut Street, this little corner here. There are just some small details we could do. But all around, I think that's pretty decent. How are we doing with our... Let me actually turn off the custom summer setting. Default. It's probably winter time. Yeah, the color is already starting to change, so we might as well just leave it. How are we doing with our population and unemployment? We've got 19,000 jobs available, 17,000 are actually filled, and 2.4 unemployment. That's not bad at all. Not bad at all. All right, guys, I think that's where we're going to end this part here. A quick shout out to my channel members. Thanks so much for your support. I really appreciate it. If you're interested in becoming a channel member, click the link in the description below to unlock custom emojis, loyalty badges, early access to videos, save game files, members-only content, merchandise discounts, and more. And until next time, leave your questions, comments, and feedback down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Lorelai, follow your dad out. I can't have your tippy taps. I can't edit them out.